MSNBC brought on a Yale child psychologist to encourage people to not see family members who voted for Trump over the holidays. Hey everyone, welcome back to Underreported Stories, where I cover the news that CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News fail to report on or don't report on enough. This woman, her name is Amanda Calhoun. She is a total race hustler and advocates for Black Lives Matter and advocates that all doctors and pediatricians should be activists. So before she has even spoken, I'm saying hard pass on her point of view. But this video went viral leading up to the holidays, so let's watch.
Do you recommend, just from a psychological standpoint, being around them? We got the holidays coming up.
Before this even goes on, before I even hear an answer, that is such a dumb question. You can't even call yourself a journalist if you're going to ask that question. Of course you can be around people that have differing views from you. What the hell?
So I love that you asked this question because, there is a push, I think just a societal norm that if somebody is your family, that they are entitled to your time. And I think the answer is absolutely not.
Oh my gosh. This is the over-therapizing of things. In a handful of situations, there are incredibly abusive parents who probably don't deserve your time, and we kind of leave it contingent on an individual to decide whether that's true or not. But this is the over-therapizing of things. You have a bad family member or a family member you don't get along with. Chill the fuck out. Family's hard, okay? It's not easy. You don't always get along. You don't get to choose them. Some people are harder than others. But this idea that we need to set insane boundaries with our family, it's just this over-therapized nonsense. It's your fucking family. Figure it out. Be an adult. You don't need to whine and bitch and complain about it. It irritates me. It's this anti-family push that far left psychos that claim that they're psychologists, or they're so into textbooks that they don't actually have a vision of what it means to be in a family, or in a middle of America family. It's just really out of touch.
If you are going into a situation where you have family members, where you have close friends who have voted in ways that are against you, like what you said, against your livelihood, and it's completely fine to not be around those people and to tell them why,
No. Okay, two things here. First, got to address the idea that you're stoking more division by lying to people about why they voted for Donald Trump. Again, no one's going to be voting for secondary social issues when primary needs are not met. And when you're living in an elite bubble like these two, being an MSNBC correspondent and a Yale University child psychiatric fellow, you don't understand that there are people who literally cannot eat. And they're not going to be voting for Dave to get fisted in San Francisco over the ability to put food on their table, okay? So just calm the F down when it comes to telling people that they're awful or they're evil and they voted against. They didn't vote against any. They voted for the ability to make more money to feed their families, okay? So stop weaponizing ignorance about Trump supporters, okay? Second, this need that you need to tell people why they're bad. Good luck. I don't even know if I want to give an explanation on this. Good luck with that. How is that going to work out? How is yelling at your family that you disagree with going to cause anything but more division? How is telling them? This is the thing. This is why liberals lost. They think that they need to inform us or educate us. We're uneducated, we're dumb. No, I have good reasons as to why. Maybe you should shut up and listen to me. And you know what? This other thing too, I listen to liberals and I'm like, please tell me why you think that way. And then it gives me, it's like iron sharpening iron. I can then take it and I'm like, okay, cool. That's another way in which I can rebut you. And I don't need you to know my opinion. Okay. This is kind of proof that sometimes psychiatrists, and no offense if you're a psychiatrist, but they're so narcissistic. Sometimes they think way too much about way too many things. It's just not that deep. I don't need to know your opinion about every political issue at the Thanksgiving table. It's not appropriate. I'm not going to give you mine. Please don't give me yours. Let's call it a day.
Say, I have a problem with the way that you voted because it went against my very livelihood, and I'm not going to be around you this holiday. I need to take some space for me. And I actually talked to, adults as well as advising parents for children. I mean, I think, I don't think that you should force children. I don't think you should force adults to be around people just because they're your family. I think there's a level of need to establish boundaries. And if you feel like you need to establish boundaries with people, whether they're your family or not, I think you should very much be entitled to do so. And I think it may be essential for your mental health.
For your mental health. Oh, again, I don't have much to add besides this is like the over therapization of everything. You have to set all of these boundaries with your family. You can't be around them if they don't agree with you. They have to work on your terms. Like, what if everyone was like that? Everyone's that difficult family member that's like incredibly woke and has to be on their own terms. I understand the idea of setting some boundaries, and sometimes families are incredibly difficult, but to make out the majority of families to being so dysfunctional that you have to set these insane boundaries, it's weird. It's weird. I understand that families need, everybody needs it to a limit, but it's at a cringe level, if that makes sense. Yeah, that totally makes sense. I'm saying you can be in these conversations or having conversations about maybe a boundary, like, hey, it's Christmas, let's not talk about politics. I want to talk about all the things we get along with. I think that's a fine boundary. I'm not going to talk about this. Oh, and when you talk about this triggers me. Like, oh my gosh, get over yourself. Welcome to the real fucking world. Personally, I don't think I'm going to be taking family advice from a woman who advocates for the abolition of the nuclear family. I'm not going to take family advice from a party that encourages young women to shave their heads because an election didn't go their way. I think family is sacred and should be so much more than politics. And there are lots of things I think that conservatives don't need to be above when it comes to politics. Like, we don't need to be above, the norms conversation that happens in politics a lot, where conservatives we're supposed to be above the norm breaking that the Democrats engage in. Like, no, if they're breaking norms, like, feel free to crash and smash a few things, okay? They're being idiots, we can be. Like, let's break it all down. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with it in the politics sense. However, we are called to be above certain cultural norms created by the left, specifically cutting out family members. Please, if you are conservative, do not cut out your liberal family members. Liberals, be above the fray of what your party is calling for right now. Do not cut out your conservative family members. Ask questions. Try to learn what motivates them, because it will sharpen you. It will sharpen your mind and your opinions. I just feel like we should all be collectively shifting the mindset here. Holidays are an opportunity to learn, not to fight. Just please, be better than this shit. We want to restore family values as conservatives. Okay? I want to do that. It starts with putting family over politics. Okay? So I'm going to be doing that. I have to deal with it all the time with my family. I work in it. My mom is super obsessive with politics. My dad kind of cares, doesn't really care that much. My sister hates talking about we deal with it every year. It always ends up in something of a fight. But you know what? All four of us get back around that table every year because we are going to be putting family over politics. And I really just encourage that everybody else do that. It irks me that there's a party out there just trying to abolish the family and then encouraging people on network platforms to break up their family because they have differing political ideologies. It's pathetic. If you're a real one and you made it to the end of today's show, will you drop the family emoji to represent the restored and caring families we're going to create over the holiday season? Thanks, friends.
Thanks so much for watching. If you liked what you heard, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment about how beautiful, stunning, and funny I am. And if you want more content based in logic, be sure to click over here for more videos and clips of my show. If you have the means to financially support the show, consider purchasing from my merch line, Based Apparel, linked right below. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you back here next time. Bye, friends.